여기 죽돌이고 이수인이랑 그럼 술 한잔 할까?
술 내가 살게 내가.
나 저기 안쪽 테이블에 있을게요.
If a stunning woman like this approaches you, you'd better watch out, because in the next second, she'll shower you with so much flattery that you'll feel like royalty. Once you're hooked on her beauty and sweet lies, she'll suddenly find an excuse to leave the table. But this time, she crossed paths with the ultimate con artist, One-Eyed Jack. He slid his hand down the woman's forearm toward the base of her glass. With a click, a chip appeared right in front of her.
자.
Realizing she could no longer stay in the casino, Youngmi stormed out, cursing Jack at the top of her lungs. Jack, intrigued by her fiery spirit, advised her to quit her small-time tricks and offered her a spade jack card and invitation to join his elite team to make serious money. Turns out, Jack had been eyeing a ridiculously wealthy businessman named Mole. To catch this big fish, he distributed cards symbolizing his crew to 4 specialists, each with unique skills. On the day of their gathering, tensions flared as Kachi, a master of seduction, doubted the abilities of Youngmi, a femme fatale in her own right. To settle their rivalry, the two decided to showcase their talents in front of everyone. Kachi grabbed a deck of cards and swiftly shuffled it an impressive 81 times, then flawlessly picked out the largest sets of triplets and even arranged 4 consecutive hearts for Youngmi. His unmatched card skills, combined with his charm, left the group in awe.
자 이제 언니 차례.
그래? 뭐 약속은 약속이니까.
Youngmi wasn't about to back down. She strode to the center, tossed her hat aside, and turned dramatically as she slowly unzipped her jacket. Everyone held their breath, but just as the moment was about to peak, Youngmi zipped her jacket right back up.
차에서 기다릴래? 너만 보여줄게.
오케이.
Kachi, unable to hide his excitement, turned to head to the car but was called back by Mr. Kwan. As they say, beauty is a double-edged sword, the ultimate weapon that can both captivate and destroy. With everyone's skills acknowledged, Jack began assigning tasks to his crew of charming con artists. He instructed Kachi and Youngmi to pose as a successful young couple looking to buy Mole's land to build an ocean view villa. After inspecting the area for a few days, Youngmi began acting picky and complaining about every little thing, subtly testing Mole's patience. When Mole finally reached his breaking point, Kachi excused himself to smoke, leaving Youngmi alone with Mole. Her alluring presence immediately captivated Mole, his mind racing with possibilities. But just as he was about to make a move, Youngmi leaned in and asked him a bold question.
저기요. 뭐 재미난 거 없어요?
Her inquiry sparked a mischievous idea in Mole's mind, prompting him to organize a poker game and call in his best players. Determined to teach this young couple a lesson, to his shock, Kachi won $1 billion within just a few hands, humiliating Mole in front of everyone. Adding insult to injury, Kachi refused to buy the land and mockingly criticized Mole's poor card skills in front of the real estate agent. News of this insult quickly reached Mole, who, desperate to save face, enlisted the renowned gambler Jack for help. Jack, seeing the opportunity, sent his protege Ielch to assist. With Ielch's expertise, Mole soon started winning back his losses. Grateful for the turnaround, Mole rewarded Jack and Ielch generously, even asking for Ielch's continued support in future games. Realizing Mole was fully hooked, Kachi called him directly, suggesting a high-stakes game with a $5 billion pot. Eager to reclaim his pride, Mole jumped at the chance and quickly arranged the game. At first, everything went as usual, with Mole following Ielch's strategies and effortlessly winning billions from Kachi. Just as Mole began basking in his apparent dominance, Kachi suddenly stood up and unleashed a furious tirade at him. Alarmed, Mole's bodyguards surrounded Kachi, creating a tense standoff.
사무쇼.
에이, 괜찮냐, 괜찮냐?
Mr. Kwan stepped in to calm the situation, while Youngmi seized the opportunity to switch out the deck unnoticed, slipping the old cards into Kachi's pocket. With the swap complete, Youngmi began dealing a fresh hand. Unaware of the switch, Mole was thrilled to find himself holding an unbeatable straight flush. Confident in his victory, he raised the stakes to $3 billion. Youngmi folded immediately, but Kachi boldly pushed the pot to $8 billion. Shocking everyone at the table, Mole glanced at Ielch for advice. Ielch subtly signaled him to fold, but Mole wavered. Seeing Kachi's smug expression, Mole couldn't resist and went all in.
받아요 콜.
When Kachi matched his all-in, Mole felt an overwhelming rush of excitement. Certain of his win, Mole proudly revealed his straight flush, already savoring the moment.
줄도 맞고.
But Kachi casually flipped over his cards, revealing a royal flush. Mole's face turned pale as he realized he'd just lost everything in one fell swoop. Devastated, Mole could do nothing but sit there, consumed by regret and disbelief. Mole quickly called for Mr. Kwan, determined to set up another game and win back his money. Just then, an Audi approached in the distance. Seeing the car, Mole hurried over to greet the financier, bringing him fresh gambling funds. But as the woman stepped out of the car, Ielch froze. He instantly recognized her as his first love. It turned out that months earlier, Ielch had been hit by a Mercedes while riding his bike. The driver had not only refused to apologize but berated him for being careless. Ielch was ready to retaliate when the passenger door opened, and out stepped his first love. Realizing the woman he adored was now under the care of a wealthy man, Ielch, filled with indignation, brought his damaged bike wheel to a casino where he found the rich man. He proposed settling the matter with a game of cards. Amused by Ielch's youthful audacity, the man agreed. If Ielch won, he'd not only replace the bike but also let Madonna, the woman, go on a date with him. Fired up by the challenge, Ielch focused all his energy and relied on his precise card-counting skills to build a straight flush.
콜. 어린?
When the rich man went all in, Ielch confidently revealed his unbeatable hand, believing victory was his. But the rich man, seeing Ielch's smug confidence, burst out laughing. To Ielch's shock and dismay, his supposed victory turned into his first crushing defeat at the casino. Facing his first crushing defeat at the casino, Ielch completely lost his composure. Desperate to turn the tide, he pressed his thumbprint on a loan agreement, borrowing another $1 billion to go all in against the wealthy man. What Ielch didn't know, however, was that the entire scenario had been a carefully orchestrated trap. Now, seeing Madonna arrive with Mole's gambling funds, Ielch was overwhelmed by a mix of emotions. He never imagined that the woman he once loved would now be delivering money to his adversary. Without hesitation, he knocked on her door and revealed the entire plan devised by the team to Madonna. Madonna, upon hearing the truth, responded with a sweet, lingering kiss. The atmosphere turned irresistibly intimate, a moment of perfect harmony, or so Ielch believed. Unbeknownst to him, he had once again fallen into Madonna's carefully laid trap. Ielch's critical mistake led to severe consequences. Youngmi and Kachi were trapped in a hotel by Mole's men. In a desperate bid to save her, Kachi used his body to barricade the door, urging Youngmi to escape through the window. Thanks to Kachi's sacrifice, Youngmi and Mr. Kwan managed to slip away from Mole's clutches. When Mole learned of their escape, he flew into a rage, directing his fury at his driver, unknowingly giving one-eyed Jack the perfect opportunity to rescue Ielch. Jack whisked Ielch away to a secret hideout. When Ielch regained consciousness, he learned the horrifying news. Kachi had been tortured, and his ankle had been sawed off. The weight of guilt overwhelmed Ielch, and he was consumed by regret. At that moment, Jack placed a knife in front of him. Seeing Ielch hesitate, Jack shared a story of his own mistakes in his younger days. He recounted how he once lost a fateful game to the gambling king Ma Gwi, who had brutally blinded him in one eye with a spade card as punishment. To pay off his gambling debts, Ma Gwi tricked Jack into luring his mentor into a rigged game. That fateful game cost Jack's mentor his life. Witnessing everything, Jack lived with crushing guilt until the day Ielch, his mentor's son, appeared, giving Jack a chance to make amends. Jack presented Ielch with a choice: kill him to avenge his father, or leave the casino world forever and never look back. Ielch chose to leave but eventually returned to the casino, spending his days in a fog of despair. One day, Kachi appeared, limping and battered, and told Ielch the truth. After Ielch left, Jack had gone back to rescue Kachi alone, but Jack didn't anticipate that Mole had hired Ma Gwi as his gambler. Facing his old nemesis at the table, Jack sacrificed his own life to save Kachi's. Ielch was further shocked to learn that Ma Gwi, the man who once crushed him at the casino, was also the mastermind behind the entire scheme. Even worse, Madonna, the woman he had loved all along, had been working with Ma Gwi to lure him into the trap. Confused and furious, Ielch couldn't understand why Ma Gwi had gone to such lengths to target him. Determined, he confided in Mr. Kwon, asking him to look after his mother, and resolved to settle the score himself. Vowing not to live a life of regret like Jack, Ielch returned to Mole's territory to challenge Ma Gwi to a high-stakes death match.
뭐가지 걸자.
뭐가지?
좋지.
Before the game, Madonna knocked on Ielch's door, urging him to reconsider. She proposed that they run away together with the money instead.
날 믿지 마. 돈을 믿어.
Against his better judgment, Ielch chose to trust her again and let her into his room. The next day, the game commenced under grim conditions. The players' ankles were shackled, and any cheater caught or player who lost would be dragged into a water tank to drown. Ielch dealt the first hand, deliberately giving Ma Gwi a useless ace of spades. When Ma Gwi discarded his card, Ielch seized the opportunity to confront him, demanding to know why he had killed his father after the gambling match years ago.
구라를 2번이나 쳤어. 짝기가!
Ma Gwi revealed that Ielch's father had hidden tens of billions of won that Ma Gwi had been unable to retrieve. Frustrated, Ma Gwi had shifted his focus to Ielch, aiming to make him pay off the debt.
받고 올인.
Seeing Ielch still looking like an inexperienced rookie, Ma Gwi didn't hesitate to bet his entire fortune. As the game intensified, Ielch began flipping over discarded cards one by one. When only the final card remained, Ma Gwi slammed his hand down on it, insisting on revealing it himself to prevent any tampering. To his shock, the ace of spades had transformed into a diamond ace. Ma Gwi was speechless. It turned out that before the game began, Ielch had already struck a deal with Mole. If Mole helped him defeat Ma Gwi, he could keep 2/3 of the 6 billion won prize money. The offer was too tempting, and Mole agreed. When Madonna came to Ielch's room to discuss their escape plan, Ielch had secretly hidden Mole in a nearby closet, allowing him to overhear Madonna's scheme to take the money and run. This further strengthened Mole's resolve to partner with Ielch. Madonna, seeing no way out, was forced to join the temporary alliance between Mole and Ielch to save herself. The trio devised a plan with a secret signal. When Ielch asked Ma Gwi why he killed his father during the game, Mole would repeatedly echo Ma Gwi's words to keep his attention fully focused on Ielch. This distraction would give Madonna the time she needed to swap out the discarded ace of spades with a counterfeit card. As the game reached its climax, Mole tossed the keys to Ielch and Madonna and ordered his men to push the oil drum into the water. Under the force of gravity, Ma Gwi was dragged toward the pool, but just before plunging into the water, Ma Gwi managed to grab hold of the edge. Clinging desperately, Madonna, watching his futile struggle, was suddenly reminded of her own tragic childhood. With cold resolve, she picked up a nearby chainsaw and calmly approached Ma Gwi. Fueled by her hatred, Madonna ended Ma Gwi's life, then turned to look at the money on the table.
더는 못 가져가겠다.
The silence of Mole and Ielch said it all. In that moment, Madonna realized that no matter whom she served, she was destined to be nothing more than a disposable pawn fighting for survival. Meanwhile, with Ielch's help, Mole walked away with a staggering 4 billion won from Ma Gwi. But Mole wasn't satisfied. He dragged Ielch to a secluded forest and demanded the remaining 2 billion won, threatening that Ielch wouldn't leave the city alive if he didn't comply.
어떻게 예상을 한치도 벗어나지를 않냐 이
뭐?
What Mole didn't anticipate was betrayal. In his final moments, he couldn't fathom why those closest to him turned against him so viciously. With Mole dead, the only ones left to divide the money were Ielch and the driver. Then Ielch noticed the driver gripping a bloody knife in his hand. Realizing the driver intended to keep all the money, Ielch tensed, but the driver, sensing the tension, suddenly tossed the knife into the river, took half of the winnings, and disappeared into the woods without a word. Ielch, now alone, divided the remaining money into 3 portions. One share went to Kachi, who had lost his leg, and another to young Mi, who was pregnant. The final portion was handed to Mr. Kwan, who had decided to leave the world of gambling for good. Ielch then returned to school, completed his education, and found a respectable job. As for the tens of billions that Ma Gwi had sought until his dying breath, it remained hidden in plain sight, stashed away in the refrigerator of Ielch's mother's modest restaurant.